Hello Yu-Gi-Oh fans, this is JBuzzsaw79 here with a deck profile for you. Today's deck profile will be on my vampires. I haven't done this deck in a while, so yeah, we'll jump right into it. Now, even though it's going to be vampires, we're just kind of starting out with these guys here, and I will zoom in a second here. Let me tighten this up here for a second. There we go. Started off with 3 of the Mizukis here. Okay. Mizuki's the one that if you banish it from the grave, you can target one zombie that's in your grave and basically special summon it by removing this from play. To go with that, another non vampire, but still really good zombie is the Unizombie. As a tuner, 3 of those. And he has 2 effects, and you can use each effect once per turn. The first one is you can target a face-up monster in the field, discard a card, and if you do, go ahead and increase that level by 1 of that monster. Also, you can go ahead, target a monster, and send a zombie from the deck to the grave, and also increase the level by 1. So I mean, you can target him and make him into a 5 or a 4, another 4, and then you can either overlay or sync right after that. So pretty cool here. And then we'll go into a few of the zombies of this, or excuse me, not zombie, sorcerer, vampires. Dang. First up, the Vampire Sorcerer, which says that while this card is in your possession, it's into the grave. Doesn't matter how it goes, you can add a dark vampire monster from the deck, or a spell trap card that's vampire. Either one to your hand. You can also banish this, and it'll count towards the normal summon of a tribute monster. So, a really cool card there. Of course, you run 3 of the Vampire Duke. I'll bring him up here for you. Duke is the one that says when it's normal summoned, you can go ahead and target a dark vampire, and then you can special summon it. Face up defense position. When this card is special summoned, you can declare monster spell or trap, and then the opponent has to discard 1 of that from their deck, sent to the grave. So you have to be careful with these though, because sometimes if you send something that perhaps could help them inadvertently, so you have to be careful in what you call. I generally like to call traps most of the time, so I don't have to deal with those because, you know, they're traps, right? So we don't like those. And then you can also use this effect only once per turn, and you can only exi dark monsters. So there's that. His brother there, I guess, is the Shadow Vampire, which I run 2 of, which says that when this card is normal summon, you can special summon a dark vampire from hand or deck except for another copy of itself, and if you do, that monster is the only one that can attack for the rest of the turn. This card cannot be used as an Igzy summon except for a dark Igzy monster. Basically, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but there's a level 5 vampire you can detach, and then you special summon one of the opponent's monsters from the grave. And that ends the vampire monsters, really. Not too many. Then we go into back to the rest of the zombie monsters at this point, with Zombie Master, who's level 4. Once per turn, you can target or send a monster card from your hand to the grave, and then you get to special summon a level 4 lower zombie type monster from either grave. So generally what you do with him is to go into plays, you get the Unizombie back, so you could pitch Mizuki, for example, or Vampire Sorcerer, just to get in the grave, so you can remove it to tribute something else, for example. So, and then we got 2 of the Pyramid Turtle. This is an old card, not this particular one, but the card itself existed for a long time. I think Metal Raiders, I believe, was the first time I seen this card. As a rare, I want to say. But when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon 1 zombie monster with 2,000 or less defense from the deck to the field. That's anything that's in this deck. You can basically special summon out. So, oops, sorry about that. So yeah, I mean, it's all the options basically at that point. So that's pretty nifty. To go with him, the last monster will be the Goblin Zombie. And when this guy inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they send the top card of their deck to the grave. So you don't usually want to do that. Mainly he's in here because when he is sent from the field to the grave, you can add a zombie with 1,200 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Basically, he allows you to set up other plays. As an example, like if you have, let's say you happen to have him out on the field, you drop a Unizombie, you pitch Mizuki, you decide you want a 2 to 8, okay? So now Mizuki's in the grave, and you search for whatever else you want to grab. You can remove Mizuki, and then you bring back Unizombie or something. You can go into another play and just keep going and going to push more and more from the deck. So this deck will be not as useful, and I'll really have to revamp certain decks I play once the link summoning is a thing. So yeah, a lot of these decks are going to be obviously changing once that comes in, was it mid-July, I believe. So moving on to spells, 3 of the Vampire Kingdoms. Zombie monsters gain 500 attack during calculation once per turn. When a card is sent from the opponent's deck to the grave, target 1 card on the field. I can send a dark vampire monster from my hand or deck to the grave and destroy the target. It's I mean, that's really all that is there. So it's not that good. It's mainly just, I guess, for the attack increase, because all the zombies, the effect is only okay. So I'm not saying you won't use it, I'm just saying it will be used in a limited fashion. So and of course, still going on to the theme, double Book of Life. This is staple for any zombie deck, I think. Some people run 1, some people run 3. I think 2 is alright. 3 is definitely doable. I don't think you ever want to run it only at 1. So allows you to special summon a zombie from your graveyard by removing an opponent's monster from their graveyard. So it's like a monster reborn with a targeted removal on your opponent's grave. I'm only running 2 Allure of Darkness right now, so you can pitch, or you draw 2 cards, and then you banish 1 dark monster. These are all dark except for like Mizuki. I believe it's the only non-dark I have in here. So for little spell and trap removal, I am running double Galaxy Cyclone. Lets you destroy set spell trap on the field, and then during the main phase, just not the one you already activated, and then you can remove Galaxy, of course, to destroy a face-up spell trap card. Try to get some double use out of stuff. So yeah, I mean that's not so bad, because you know, think about it, 1 turn you play it. Let's say you destroy Mirror Force. You try to push for something, then they activate Fiendish Chain or something, and do a play against you. You can easily remove and destroy it on their next turn then. So sometimes you forget about it, and it's a nice late game thing. So these are all 1-ofs here. So 1 Foolish, 1 Burial from Different Dimension, 1 Raigeki, and 1 Demonic Stormforth. So Foolish Burial, self-exclamatory. You can set up the grave better by sending Mizuki or Vampire Sorcerer, something like that. Burial from DD basically allows you to bounce those back to go off another play. Might add Miracle Dig to try out yet. I don't know. Regeki is Regeki. And then Monarch Stormforth, just because when you play it, I contribute theirs. Since I do run, there is 5 tribute targets in here. So, there's a good chance I could draw a Stormforth and go ahead and tribute their monster and then kind of go off. So, always that chance, right? So, moving on to traps, there's only 2 traps. Everything else is a one of. So the double Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain to stop attacks and negate effects. Sometimes I have to spend a couple of turns to kind of set the board up for the vampires. And if I have to set up, if people try to go off too early or something, I need to stop the play. So Fiendish Chains are nice for that. Bottomless Trap Hole. And Vampire Takeover. Frontal Tribute. Followed up by Solemn Warning and Vanity's Emptiness to round out the rest of the deck. Bottomless is always nice. So is Torrential. Vampire Takeover says that if you have no field spell up, basically, and you control 1 zombie, and you can activate this. You can activate Vampire Kingdom from the deck, and then you special summon a Dark Vampire from the grave to the field in defense position. But you can only activate 1 takeover per turn. I might up this up to 2 again. I had a 2 for a while. I've kind of kicked it down to 1, and then vanities again. Once you get the field, you don't want your opponent to go off, or you want them to wait while you get ready to set up to go off. Solemn Warning, because it's Solemn Warning. I mean, there's really no explanation there. So this is my 2017 Vampire deck for Yu-Gi-Oh! Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you did not. Always comments welcome and appreciated. And should you indeed enjoy this content, please go ahead and drop a subscription for the channel. I'd very much appreciate that. And thank you for doing so in advance. This is JBuzzsaw79 signing off and saying thanks for watching.